Hi. Hi, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. What's happening now, Chris? Fuck me, dude. I've been live for 40 seconds. I gotta find out, too. I'm just kidding. I know. Trump said that any and all protesters on June 14th for his birthday, anybody who protests that, he said, will be met with big resistance. That's what he said. Big resistance. So let me pull up that clip for you. Let's pull up TikTok. Let's see, is TikTok going to show me something fucked up off the rip? Nah, it's pretty cool. Big fan of that.
Celebrating big on Saturday. We're going to have a lot of, and if there's any protester who wants to come out, they will be met with very big force. By the way, for those people that want to protest, they're going to be met with very big force. And I haven't even heard about a protest, but, you know, this is people that hate our country, but they will be met with very heavy force. Thank you very much, everybody. Celebrating big on Saturday. We're going to have a lot.
He's talking about his birthday. He's talking about his birthday, which also happens to be No King's Day, and also the 250th anniversary of the United States Army. That's a challenge, folks. That's a challenge.
Once they come out, they will be met with very big force. By the way, for those people that want to protest, they're going to be met with very big force. And I haven't even heard about a protest, but, you know, this is people that hate our country.
Bro.
But they will be met with very heavy force.
Bro, you know what we need? We need the largest protest in American history. That's what we fucking need. Dead ass, verbatim. You want that challenge? You want to challenge that? All right. You are about to be met with the largest protest in American history, dog. And we all know what he's going to fucking do. We all know what this means. We'll face very heavy force. What he's saying, guaranteed, is that any protester at his birthday party will immediately be arrested for anything. Whether you are silently holding a sign or whether you are fucking cheering fuck Donald Trump, doesn't matter. That's what he's saying. He is officially trying to terminate your First Amendment rights because it's his birthday. Because it's Big Daddy Donnie's birthday. Oh, no. Big Daddy Donnie, no. Unfucking believable.
Mr. Secretary, I want to express my severe concern with the deployment of the National Guard in Los Angeles without consultation of the state of California. There have been photographs that have shown these troops sleeping on the floor and have not been provided fuel, food, or water.
Do you agree with the way
DoD.
people are protesting in L.A.? Absolutely.
How long will this deployment last, and why were we unprepared to provide them basic necessities such as food and water?
The commanders and troops on the field are very well prepared, sir. They responded incredibly rapidly to a deteriorating situation with equipment and capabilities. We have made sure from the top down, as a Secretary of Defense who's been in a unit holding riot shields outside the White House during the chaos of the summer of 2020, I know what it's like to be immediately deployed into a situation like that. There are moments where you make do as best you can temporarily, but we are ensuring they're housed, fed, water capabilities in real time from my office.
None of that is true, by the way. There are so many reports, confirmed reports, that the National Guard who have been deployed to Los Angeles are sleeping on cardboard boxes. And they don't have food and water. They have to scrounge it up for themselves. But again, these people are so willing to lie, they don't give a fuck.
Because I care that much about the California Guard and the Marines and the men and women who are supporting our ICE agents on the ground. It's true every day, and that's a disingenuous attack that misrepresents how much we care about our troops and what they're doing to defend ICE agents. I'm not going to take the fact that we don't care about the troops. Nobody cares more about the troops at the top than this Secretary and the Chairman and our department.
How long will the deployment last?
We stated very publicly that it's 60 days.
So the National Guard will be, this is why I told you guys the other day, this is like, that was day one. The National Guard and the Marines will be in Los Angeles for 60 days. 60 days. Meanwhile, more National Guards, more Marines, soon the Army, will be deployed in various other states. New York, Seattle, fucking Houston. It's all about to go down. It is all about to come crumbling the fuck down. Oh, he also, yeah, this is
We
big.
have some big news right now. Governor Gavin Newsom of California is now calling into question Donald Trump's mental acuity. Today,
So what he's talking about is Donald Trump today was asked during his interview, when was the last time you spoke to Gavin Newsom? And he said confidently, he seemed like he fucking meant it. He said, yesterday. No, he didn't. No, and the thing is, it does beg a bigger question, which is not like, is he lying, but does he truly have dementia? We've been ringing the alarm bells for weeks now that Donald Trump seems to have early onset dementia. It may not be early onset. He may have full-fledged dementia. Genuinely. Unfucking believable. Early onset is for people under 65. Yeah, he's just got dementia. I think Trump is about to speak live at Fort Bragg. Oh, he's coming in. Yeah, that's him. I have to turn down off the music because it's always copyright. But this is perfect timing. Let me change the title of the stream. Trump's speech, Fort Bragg. We gotta keep it muted, bro. I ain't getting a fucking copyright strike because Trump is so obsessed with this fucking music. Absolutely not. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Don't worry, guys. I got my manager working on Constitusi merch. Arriving in a helicopter is not tough. They always arrive in a fucking helo. Marine 1, right? Is that Marine 1 or is that Marine 2? Potential ice sighting. Orem, Utah County. Jesus Christ. They're fucking all over the place. Is that Marine 1? Dude, the problem is like a lot of this presidential shit is cool as fuck. It's just that we have some orange Nazi inside of it, and that sucks. Like, dude, Marine 1, Air Force 1, those are fucking awesome pieces of technology, bro. Fucking Air Force One could withstand a nuclear blast. Do you understand that? That's fucking insane. Oh. Happens after it crumbles. What happens then? We build back better. Unironically, no pun intended. Can China just invade already? Nah, bro. They don't have to. The Chinese game has always been the sleeping dragon. Just wait and America will destroy itself. Then you can just move into the corpse of a formerly loved nation. Just fucking blueprints of a nation with people willing to accept any sort of leadership. Chinese don't gotta fucking invade. The only nation on earth strong enough to destroy the United States is the United States. I'm sure you'll get arrested at his birthday if you talk any different language than America. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. If anybody at his birthday party holds up a sign that is in protest, they're gonna get arrested. And then anybody who participates in some sort of like, I guess what is it? Enhanced, kinetic protests, they're fucking done. They may get cooked. Hi, Louise. Hi, Mama. You want me to throw it? Here, Weenie. Ooh-wee. I threw her toy octopus, and now she's destroying it. Doland is a pussy-ass bitch, bro. The only thing you gotta know about Doland is that he went to military high school and didn't serve in Vietnam. Motherfucker went to military high school, trained to go to war, and then there was a war where we had a draft, and he didn't even go. My father volunteered for the Vietnam War. Do you understand the difference in man right there? My father, who grew up dirt fucking poor, didn't really have any parents around, he volunteered to fight, which was the stupidest decision you could possibly make, and he immediately fucking regretted it. And he spent the rest of his life trying to understand what the Vietnam War was, because it certainly had nothing to do with the Gulf of Tonkin and the false flag operations that he and the rest of these young men were fooled into believing they were going to go fight for their country because they grew up watching Audie Murphy movies and they thought that, like, fucking Humphrey Bogart was a real dude. Did somebody just support the Xenos? Bro, we are proudly, oh my God, I was going to say xenophobic, but that's actually a real word, right? Xenophobic is a real word. Fuck. We got to come up with a word to, like, hate aliens. Audie Murphy was awesome? Of course he was awesome. Yeah, Jack, I caught myself real quick there. I caught myself real quick. I almost said some fuck shit. Thank you for the $2 donation, Tony Davidson. Glad to see you live again. Appreciate it. Extra xenophobic. That's even worse, Nelson. That is even worse. That is so much worse. Can we just call them split lip fuckers? Space phobic? No, because I ain't scared of space. And it's not a phobia. I'm not scared of aliens. I just fucking hate them, okay? Not the Halo sirs. Get that fucking split lip! What do they call the brutes? Monkeys? I think they just call the brutes straight up monkeys. It's a fucking monkey! Meanwhile, the brute doesn't even know what a monkey is. Brute is like, what the fuck is a monkey? Whoa there, we're not on Twitch, are we? No. Would you fight in space Vietnam? Absolutely. Absolute-and-root-and-lootly. Bro, I have a cut on my nose, and it hurts like hell. And it's because I've been sick all week, and I've been blowing my nose on fucking dry-ass paper towels. Do you believe in aliens? Absolutely, bro. Do you know how fucking stupid, or no, not stupid, do you know how cocky you have to be to understand the quantity of planets and galaxies and solar systems, to understand the level of space, and then to believe we're the only being is the most, like, the audacity, bro. The audacity is fucking insane. Brother, the music is gonna get everyone streaming this fucking copyrighted. Everyone streaming this is gonna get copyrighted. Oh, his sleeve is too short.
Well, good afternoon, Fort Bragg. It is Fort Bragg, isn't it? Let me tell you, what a privilege it was to be just a few miles away from here, watching a sheer demonstration of military power.
This is as loud as it gets, guys.
From the All-Americans.
This is as loud as it gets.
It's incredible. I wish every American could stand in that field and watch 600 paratroopers fall from the sky after preparatory fires and assault on the objective. That's sheer American firepower. But you know what I wish Americans could also see? What I get a chance to see every day, what other members of the cabinet get to see every day, which is our Commander-in-Chief, President Donald Trump.
No, I already did, Nelson. I know how to raise the volume in Streamlabs. I'm telling you that their microphone just sucks. I cranked the YouTube volume and the Streamlabs volume to max.
It doesn't matter the situation, whether he's meeting with foreign leaders, we're meeting in the Oval Office, or he's talking to soldiers. He's the same leader we know and love. He's laser focused on America first, on peace through strength, and on supporting our American warfighters and vets. You know exactly where his compass is. You know exactly what he believes. And what I tell troops when we travel across the world, and I've had a chance to meet so many of you fine Americans, what I always say, the message from our Commander-in-Chief is, he has your back.
I may be able to crank this up a little. Hold on.
That matters. Let me tell you, I've been, not that long ago, in shoes and boots similar to yours. And when I was going on a mission, or I was about to take part in something that was uncertain, involved complications, the fog of war, all I wanted to know was that my company commander, battalion commander, brigade commander, division commander, and my Commander-in-Chief had my back when I had to do difficult things on behalf of the nation, where politicians in air-conditioned offices don't understand, and they want to second-guess. President Donald J. Trump has your back. So at the Defense Department, we're doing 3 critical things at his direction. Number 1, we're restoring the warrior ethos. We're getting back to basics. Standards, accountability, readiness, training, warfighting, lethality. We're not a college or a university. We're not interested in your woke garbage and your political correctness. We're warfighters who close with and destroy the enemy on behalf of our nation when we come home to those we love, because we don't fight because we hate what's in front of us. We fight because we love what's behind us. That's what makes the American soldier different. So we're restoring the warrior ethos back to basics. We're also rebuilding our military. We'll have the first $1 trillion budget. You will have the best equipment in your hands to stare down the enemy. From multi-billion-dollar platforms to the best rifles to the best equipment to hypersonics and drones and fighters and jets, ships and carriers. Everything you need, President Trump will make sure you have. We're rebuilding the military after 4 years.
Because we defunded Medicaid and Medicare. We took all the money for you. We took all the money just for you, boys.
And finally, we're reestablishing deterrence. Our allies know that we stand with them, and our adversaries know what we are capable of doing to them, so that we can maintain peace through strength. President Trump seeks peace. He wants peace.
No,
so
he doesn't.
So do you. For our families, for our kids and our grandkids. But those who long for peace must prepare for war. And that's something the 82nd Airborne, America's 911, does every single day. So it's an absolute honor to be your 29th Secretary of Defense. You have my pledge that every single day our focus is on you and your mission and having your back. And you're about 1 minute away from hearing from your Commander-in-Chief, President Donald Trump. God bless you and God bless our nation.
I'm gonna get copyrighted. I love the president. Yay! Mr. President. Hey, Weenie. You want to come up? Oh, no, you want me to throw your toy? I'll throw your toy. You want the llama? Go get the llama. Yeah.
Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen. We introduce to you the President.
Cue Imperial March, Chris. Dude, last time I did that, I got copyright striked to hell. There he is. And frankly, I've got a new hat. How do you like my hat? Look at my hat. Thank you. Ooh, I bet he does it. Do you think he does it? Alright, that's copyright free. That's not. That's not copyright free. At all, actually. Does he do it? Look at my new hat. I told you he'd say that. Look at my hat. New hat. Oh, there it is. What does the hat say? I don't know. I have no fucking idea. It's probably an army hat. Nope, still copyright. Yeah, guys, make sure you donate heavy this stream because I'm definitely getting fucking copyright striked for streaming this shit. This is how, by the way, this is what Trump does intentionally. Part of the way that he keeps like his messages suppressed on the left is by only using copyrighted music so that we just cannot cover him live. Oh, he's dancing now. He's dancing now. Cue the Star Wars music. Bro, last time I did that, I got so fucking copyright striked. Boom, 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 Come on with the fucking music. Luigi, leave him alone or I'll toss you into Springfield, Ohio where they're eating the dogs. Alright, there we go. I hope he knows how to use this mic properly because Pete Hegseth did not.
Wow.
Look at my army.
That's a That's a beautiful sight, and it's a beautiful sight to be with you in a place called Fort Bragg.
Dude, the audio cut. Fort Bragg.
Can you believe they changed that name in the last administration for
Look
a
at
little
my hat.
bit? But we'll forget all about that. Well, we're going to forget all about it. I want to just say God bless the U.S. Army and God bless the USA.
All right, he knows how to use the mic, actually. Donald knows how to use the mic. I might turn it down a
I want
little.
to thank so many incredible soldiers and paratroopers, pilots, warriors for that awesome display of pure, unrivaled American military might. I just saw something that was crazy. You don't want to mess. I've been saying a long time, we have the best. Nobody even comes close, but they just gave me a display.
Oh, the Chinese would like to
You
disagree,
might be
Donnie.
lucky not to see it, because it's a little scary. It was beautiful to watch. Let's hear it for the Army Special Operations and Command and the 82nd Airborne Division and the 18th Airborne Corps. What a show it was, and what a show it continues to be. And Saturday is going to be a big day in Washington, D.C. You know, a lot of people said, we don't want to do that. I say, yeah, we do. We want to show off a little bit. You know, recently, other countries celebrated the victory of World War I. France was celebrating, really. We're all celebrating. The only one that doesn't celebrate is the USA, and we're the ones that won the war.
What?
Without us, you'd all be speaking German right now.
We did fuck all in World War I.
Maybe a little Japanese thrown in. But we won the war. And we don't celebrate, but we're going to celebrate on Saturday, and we're going to celebrate from now on. We're going to celebrate our great achievements.
Brother, he
This
doesn't
week
know
we honor
the difference between World War I and
250
II.
years of valor and glory and
He does
triumph
not know the
by
difference between World War I and
greatest
II.
fighting force ever to walk the face of the earth, the United States Army.
Holy fuck.
For 2.5 centuries, our soldiers have marched into the raging fires of battle and obliterated America's enemies. There's never been anything like it. There's never been a force like this. And I rebuilt it. I gave you so much money for 4 years. It was crazy.
Dude, to be honest, most of the people in the crowd don't know the difference between World War I and II.
Our largest budget for military operations, over $1 trillion. We've never even come close.
Yeah, because the military needs more funding, absolutely.
But our army has smashed foreign empires, humbled kings, toppled tyrants, and hunted terrorist savages through the very gates of hell. Our soldiers do not rest until they win. You know that better than anybody. From June 1775 to June 2025, those foolish enough to challenge America's army have been met with unyielding strength, unbreakable spirit, and unstoppable, overwhelming force. Time and again, our enemies have learned that if you dare to threaten the American people, American soldier will chase you down, crush you, and cast you into oblivion. That's what happens, unfortunately. That's what happens. Doesn't sound very nice.
Thank you for the
It's
$2.
true, isn't it? The last sound you ever hear will be the dueling howl of Black Hawks in the dead of night, the thunderous boom of artillery fire, or the ferocious roar of a U.S. Army infantry brigade charging over the horizon. That brigade is going to charge like you've never seen before, and hopefully I can keep you out of that, but if I don't, you're ready. Is that right? If I can keep you out of it.
But if I
keep
don't,
you out
you're
of
ready.
it, that's okay, but if we need it, you're ready.
Brother is going
It's
to war.
called peace through strength. Isn't
Brother's
it?
geeking
Peace
him up
through
for
strength.
war.
For our adversaries, there's no greater fear than the United States Army. They all fear us, and we have the greatest force anywhere on earth. You know, you read different stories that others are building and building and building. We have a force like no other. They said it would take 5 years to defeat ISIS. We did it in 4 weeks. 4 weeks.
No, you
we
didn't.
let him go. Unlike other of your leaders, I let him go. And
You didn't even defeat
we had
ISIS.
General Raisin Kane, who's now the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, because I liked him. He was a warrior. He was a great warrior, and now he's been rewarded for his incredible work. But they said it would take 5 years. We did it in 4 weeks. Someday I'm going to ask him to explain that one to me. But it was the television generals that said that. The real generals got out and fought, and nobody fought like them ever. But for the American people, there's no greater pride because you are the righteous sword of American justice and the ultimate shield of American freedom. This week we remember that we only have a country because we first had an army. The army was first. In fact, the army was even before the country. You know that, right? 1 year before the country. After 250 years, we still proudly declare that we are free because you are strong. You are so strong. We're safe because you are brave, and America's flag will never fall because America's army will never, ever fail. Never going to fail. Every branch of the armed forces has played a critical role in protecting our nation, but no one has done more fighting, bleeding, and winning than the U.S. Army. Nobody's done that. The Army has
The Russians
earned
would
more
like to
combat
disagree.
medals and more battle ribbons than any other service, and 70% of all of the medals of honor. We give away medals of honor all the time at the White House to incredibly brave people, but you have 70% of them. Army soldiers, and especially our Army paratroopers, truly go all the way. You know that expression, all
Jesus,
the
Donnie.
way. It's one
Jesus,
of your beautiful
Donnie.
expressions.
Did they finally fix the
As
mic just now?
President of the
They
United
did.
States,
They
let
just
me
fixed the
express
mic.
my undying gratitude to our nation, for every soldier here today, for
They fixed
every
his mic.
veteran and their families, those incredible families that are with us and all across America, and for every patriot who has worn the uniform over 250 years. Can you imagine that? We thank you from the absolute bottom of our hearts. Few places loom larger in Army lore than where we are gathered today. The one and only Fort Bragg. The one and only Fort Bragg. But remember, it was only that little brief moment that it wasn't called Fort Bragg. It was by the Biden administration.
Biden.
I had nothing to do with it.
Biden.
We got it changed.
Biden.
We said, I came here numerous times, and everybody, they kept saying Fort Bragg, Fort Bragg. I said, it's not the name, but then I was making a speech. I said, what do you think I should call this place? Call it Fort Bragg. I said, Fort Bragg, how you doing? We won a lot of battles from this
Shut
place.
the fuck
and
up,
that's the way
Grandpa.
It is. It wasn't
Give
even
the speech.
close. When Pete and some of the generals came to see me, I said, not even close. Not even close. This is the home of the Green Berets, the Sky Dragons, and the all-American 82nd Airborne. We know what 82nd
Well, the 82nd Airborne is a bunch of badasses.
This is where the GIs who won the Second World War learned to pack their parachutes and push howitzers and go right into those C-47s with lots of arms and push them right out those big, beautiful doors and wield their bayonets and pry the enemy from the hedgerows of the French countryside. France needed us badly. We were there. A lot of people needed us badly. They still do, maybe worse than ever. It was here in this soil that the Army forged the medal that held strong at Bastogne. It was here the mighty paratroopers earned their wings before they rained down death from above to liberate Sicily, Normandy, and even the Netherlands. That's right. We saved the Netherlands.
Of course they're being forced to
Every
attend
inch
this.
of this
They don't have a
base is
choice.
steeped in the legacy of those
They don't have a choice in
warriors who
going to breakfast.
said with pride, "Sir, I trained at Fort Bragg, sir." That was pretty cool. And that is why we restored the historic name of this very, very special place. I don't know if it could be the same place. Fort Bragg is in. That's the name.
They are told
And
when
Fort
to
Bragg,
applaud. They are
it
told
shall
when to hold up
always
their
remain.
signs,
That's never
too.
going to be happening again.
You'll see them all hold up their American flags at the exact same times. People are told, they're like, do it now.
And for a little news for the fake news back there, the fake news, ladies and gentlemen. Look
That's
at
us,
them. Look
folks.
at them all. Oh,
That's
yeah,
us.
yeah, what I have to put up with. Fake news.
Hi. Hi, Donnie.
What I have to put up with. But they're all right. They've been very nice today. They were impressed with that display, I can tell you that. I think it took them a little by surprise. But for a little breaking news, we are also going to be restoring the names to Fort Pickett, Fort Hood, Fort Gordon, Fort Rucker, Fort Polk, Fort A.P. Hill, and Fort Robert E. Lee.
Robert
We won a lot
E.
of battles
Lee.
out of those forts. It's no time to change.
Fort Robert
And I'm
E. Lee.
superstitious. You know, I like to keep it going, right? I'm very superstitious. We want to keep it going. So that's a big story. We just announced that today to you for the first time. They said, why didn't you wait till Saturday? I said, I can't wait. I got to talk to my friends here today. This is a record crowd. You know, you never had a crowd this big. That's an honor. You think this crowd would have showed up for Biden? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, Fort Lee was an old name for one of
so
our
many
forts.
great leaders here today, including
Robert E. Lee was a
Secretary of
Confederate
Defense.
general, a traitor
Pete
to the United
Hegseth
States.
has been great, by the way, Pete. Thank you. Great. And he went through the wars, you know? Pete went through the wars. He had to get through a very hostile group of people that I think really don't want to see America be great again, maybe, or something, but he persevered and he got there and he's doing a fantastic job. Great job, Pete. Thank you very much. Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Doug Collins, a fantastic man. Thank you, Doug. You're doing a great job.
You're doing a terrible job, bro. You're the secretary of the VA?
Doing a great,
Trump just
great
gutted
job.
the fucking VA.
Way
80,000
up
people
from the
were
last
fired.
Administration, Veterans Administration. It's way up. You saw the recent poll. The people are happy. They weren't happy a couple of years ago. They were really happy 5 years ago. But it went downhill from there. We did so much. We got you medical. If you had to wait, if you had to delay at all, you go out to see a private doctor. We pay the bill. You take care of it. You don't wait for 6 months and end up getting very sick.
That's not true whatsoever, and these veterans know that.
We did that. Then they wanted to drop that. I said, we're not dropping it. But, Doug, I'm proud of you. I just heard some great things. Thank you very much. The Secretary of the Army, a really brilliant young guy, went to Yale. Can't have everything. Top student, Dan Driscoll. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. And we have your senators, Senator Ted Budd and Senator Tom Tillis. Thank you, fellas. Congressman Richard Hudson, Pat Harrigan. Where's
Hey, William.
Pat? Good.
It's going
Pat,
good.
You're doing great. You guys are
He hasn't
amazing.
said anything too crazy
And we
this
have the big
speech.
brass.
I mean, of
General
course,
Andrew
crazy
Poppins.
shit, but not super crazy.
General, thank you. Thank you, General. Doing a great job. General John Braja. John, thank you. Great job. Thank you for today, John. General Greg Anderson. Thank you. Thank you, Greg. Thank you. Sergeant Major of the Army, Michael Weimer.
There's
And
a
before
fascist
going
on my
further, I
screen.
want to say a few words about the situation in Los Angeles, California. Have you heard of
Kidding.
the place?
Thank you for the $2.
Where I've deployed thousands of National Guard troops and
Oh, here we go.
hundreds of Marines to protect federal law enforcement from the attacks of a vicious and violent mob.
Don't you cheer. Don't you cheer.
And some of the radical left, they say, oh, that's not nice.
Do not
No,
cheer,
they didn't
fellas,
do it.
please.
It wouldn't be Los Angeles. It'd be burning today, just like their houses were burning a number of months ago. Generations of
Thank
Army
God they didn't
heroes
fucking cheer.
did not
Oh,
shed
Jesus.
their blood on distant shores only to watch our country be destroyed by invasion and third world lawlessness here at home, like is happening in California. As Commander-in-Chief, I will not let that happen. It's never going to happen. What you're witnessing in California is a full-blown assault on peace, on public order,
I'll turn them up a little bit.
and on national sovereignty carried out by rioters bearing foreign flags with the aim of continuing a foreign invasion of our country. We're not going to let that happen. Remember, millions
Watch him
of
invoke the
people
Insurrection
were
Act
allowed to
during
come
this
into our
speech.
country totally unchecked and unvetted by stupid people or radical
Watch him do
people
it
or
this
sick
speech.
people. But regardless, open border policy, the dumbest policy yet. I would say even dumber than
Thanks, Nelson.
men playing in women's sports, transgender for everyone.
Transgender for everyone.
Even dumber than that. They're hurling bricks and cinder blocks at law enforcement. Did you see they're breaking up the sidewalks and the curbs, breaking it up with big, strong hammers? These guys are professionals. These are not amateurs. They're breaking it up because they took the bricks away from them. They came in with bricks, red bricks, that they could throw at our military and at the police in L.A., who are very good, but they weren't aggressive like
This
our
is really
soldiers. Our
dangerous, by the
soldiers
way, the
really
fact that
weren't
he's
aggressive.
talking
They all
about
worked
this
together.
in front of the military.
But they came in with bricks, they were taken away, and they had hammers.
This is really dangerous
Oh, wow,
and
how did that
volatile.
happen? And they're pounding the sidewalk. I said, what the hell is he doing? And he's
None of
breaking it
this
up
is
and
on the
making it
speech.
into
You could tell he's not looking at the
concrete
teleprompter.
bombs in a way. And they're
His
dropping them on
handlers
our
are probably
military.
tweaking.
They're throwing them at our military. Pretty good arms they had, too. Hits guys right in the face. Big chunk of concrete, worse than a brick. They're taking them up to the bridges and they're dropping them in the cars that are going by. These are animals. But they proudly carry the flags of other countries, but they don't carry the American flag.
They literally
only burn
do.
it. Did you see a lot of the flags being burned? They weren't being burned by people from our country or from
What?
people that love our country. People that burn the American flag should go to jail for 1 year. That's what they should be doing. 1 year.
That's illegal. We had a
And we'll
Supreme
see if
Court
we can
case
get
over
that
this.
done. We're going to try and get that done. We're working with some of your senators. I know Senator Josh Hawley is very much involved, and I know the two senators from here. I think you guys, are you guys in favor of it? Boy, would this be a bad time for them to say no.
This is a violation.
I got you. I got
of the
those two votes.
Constitution.
The agitators are throwing firebombs, Molotov cocktails, lighting vehicles ablaze. You saw the cars that were burning, mobbing police officers and ICE officers who are the toughest people you'll ever meet, and they love our country, and they're getting really they want to stomp on them, but they're too tough. They don't allow it. And attempting to infiltrate and occupy federal buildings wearing armor and face shields. The best money can buy, somebody's financing it. We're going to find out through Pam Bondi and Department of Justice who it is. They're already on it. Who's financing all this equipment? Very professional. Under the Trump administration, this anarchy will not stand. We will not allow federal agents to be
I'm
attacked.
live right now
and we will
watching
not
Trump's
allow an
speech at Fort
American
Bragg.
city to be
He
invaded
went off
and
script and he
conquered
just
by
said that he's making
a
burning
foreign
the American
enemy.
flag
That's what
punishable
they
with a
are.
year in prison.
A
That
lot
is
of
a
those
direct
people were let in here
violation
by
of the
the
First
Biden
Amendment. We had a
administration.
Supreme Court case
They
over
just
this.
poured right
He's gone
in.
off script. He's talking
They
about
came
the
from prisons,
protests
they
in
came
LA.
from jails
It's
from all over the
fucking
world. They
crazy.
came from
Come check it
mental
out live on YouTube.
institutions. They were the leaders of gangs. They were drug lords allowed to come into our country. Their countries threw them out. Their countries would bus them or drive them right to our border and say, go in there. You ever come back, we're going to kill you. And we got them, and we're getting them out of here. I want to applaud the courage and the strength of the incredible troops who are right now standing guard to protect federal property and personnel and uphold the supremacy of federal law. That's what they're doing. They're protecting our ICE agents. They're protecting the police in Los Angeles. The head of the police in Los Angeles, a good man, I hear a good man, but he was actually saying we really did need this help. It had gotten away from them. It had long gotten away. And we gave it to them. Not only are these service members defending the honest citizens of California, they're also defending our republic itself. And they are heroes. They're in there, they're heroes. They're fighting for us. They're stopping an invasion just like you'd stop an invasion. The big difference is most of the time when you stop an invasion, they're wearing a uniform.
He's saying it's an invasion.
In many
He's going to
ways,
declare
it's
the
tougher when
Insurrection
they're
Act.
not wearing a
He might do
uniform
it
because you
during
don't
this
know
speech.
exactly who they
He
are.
might do it during this speech.
In Los Angeles, the governor of California, the mayor of Los Angeles,
Oh my God, we're going to have a civil war.
they're incompetent. And they paid troublemakers, agitators, and insurrectionists. They're engaged in this willful attempt to nullify federal
He's
law,
accusing them of
aid
paying
the
them.
occupation of the city by criminal invaders. That's what it is.
I think he's going to declare
No
it this
different.
this speech.
Their position is that the rioting will not stop unless ICE withdraws from Los Angeles and ceases the enforcement of federal immigration law. In other words, they came in here illegally. Many of them came out of prisons and jails, the most heinous people. They came from all over the world. They came from the Congo in Africa. They came from Asia. They came from the prisons.
It
of
was
these
on mine,
places.
Retro. Thank you for the $5.
They were put into the United States and allowed to stay here because we had a grossly president who listened to whoever was operating the auto pen. And they allowed these people to stay. And by the way, I've known this guy for a long time. He was never the sharpest bulb. But you know what he was? He wasn't a radical left lunatic. He never dreamt about open borders. He never said that when he was of sound mind, which actually was a very long time ago. So sad what they've done to our country. I will say that without question, however, you're seeing the financial numbers. We've now got the hottest country anywhere in the world. And 6 months ago, it was the coldest country. We're being laughed at all over the world. I was in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE. We brought back $5.1 trillion into our country. And all three leaders, they're great leaders, all three said, you know, you are presiding over the hottest country anywhere in the world. And they said the exact same thing. They said 6 months ago, it was the coldest country. I'll tell you, change
What
on
the
a date.
fuck
You know
are
what
you
November
talking
5th
about,
was?
Donnie?
It was the election of a president.
Our
that
economy
loves
is in
you.
shambles because
And
of
that's
your
when it
fucking
all
tariff
changed.
plans.
That's when it all changed. Within the span of a few decades,
$5,
Los Angeles
Voyager.
has gone from being one of the cleanest, safest, and most beautiful cities on earth to being a trash heap with entire neighborhoods under the control of transnational gangs and criminal networks. It's horrible what's happened so quickly. As the entire world can now see, uncontrolled migration leads to chaos, dysfunction, and disorder. And you know what? They have it in Europe, too. It's happening in many of the countries of Europe. They don't like it when I say it, but I'll say it loudly and clearly. They better do something.
Real quick, I'll be super
before
quick with
it's
this.
too late.
Donald Trump could invoke
Very
the
simply,
Insurrection
we
Act,
will
which will
liberate
deploy the
Los
military in all
Angeles and
50
make it
states.
free,
Give
clean,
him
and
the
safe
right
again. It's
to
happening
control the
very
National
quickly.
Guard.
The one big, beautiful bill, you've heard about it. We call it the one big, you know, I was on one of the television
Thank you for the $5,
shows, I think,
Wyatt.
Deface the Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, deface the nation.
If he
It's
invokes the
actually called
Insurrection
Face
Act,
the Nation
cops
for
can
those of
arrest
you
you.
that are
Or
smart
sorry, not
enough not
cops.
to know, 'cause you
Marines
better
can
not
arrest
know.
you. National Guard
But I
can
was
arrest
on one
you.
of the
Soldiers
shows.
can arrest you.
And I said, we got to get a great bill. They said, would you like it to be one bill or would you
Thank you
like
for
it to be
$5,
7 or
avocado.
8 bills? They said, I want one big,
I got a really bad
beautiful bill. And the
feeling about- I got a
Republican Party
really
liked
bad
that
feeling
statement. They
about
call
this
it one
speech.
big, beautiful bill. So that's good. And
He
that's
gets
what
full
it is.
control
It's
over the
great.
entire military, William.
And it's currently before Congress. It provides all necessary funding for ICE, for Border Patrol, and for the Department of Defense. And I told you at a level that we've never had before, over $1 trillion. We better get that bill approved. Otherwise, your helicopters and your planes and your equipment's going to start to look a little bit old, General. You better push your favorite congressman. You better push these two senators. I think they're in good shape, however. But we got to get it approved. And those congressmen by you are all 100%. I don't even have to talk to them. They've been so great. So I want to sign this into law immediately. And with the signing, so many great things will happen to our country. No tax on tips.
That's not in
Think
there.
of that.
That's not in there. They don't
No
get
tax.
tips. There's no
Seniors
tips for the
on
soldiers.
Social Security. No tax on overtime. They're going to pay for themselves.
So none of that is in the
If you
bill.
get a car and if you borrow money to buy the car, we're going to let you deduct the interest payment if it's a new car made in America. Only in America. If it's made in Japan or China or any place else, we're not really interested in your deduction. I was elected winning all 7 swing states, the popular vote by millions and millions of votes in all counties throughout America by 2,750 to 525. That's what I call a big number. But this is a mandate from the people to restore the sovereign borders of the United States, and that is exactly
fair,
what
Margaret,
we're
bro. I'm
doing.
sitting
Not
here
only the
silently.
borders
The fuck?
financial institutions and our country itself.
You're feeling fear because he's scaring you.
We will not be deterred, and the mob in Los Angeles or anyone else, anywhere else, will not succeed. They don't even have a little chance. And I will be calling you early as I see this happening because, you know, in theory, I guess you could say a governor could call, but they don't call. They let their city burn, like in Minneapolis with this guy who ran for vice president against J.D. That was a good debate, J.D. against this guy. Remember how bad he was? That was one of the, I said, J.D., there's never been a man like you're competing against. This is the worst. I think he's running for president, too. Can you believe it? But he's a radical left lunatic, and I'll never forget in Minnesota, that city was burning down. Minneapolis was burning down. It was going to burn to the ground, and he wouldn't call the guard. And I waited for a long time, and I called the guard, and I saved it, but I wish I would have called it the first day. And I said,
there is no
you know,
faith in him, T.
if this ever happens again, because I was thinking about running because the election was rigged and stolen, we all know it. They said, we're going to run again, and if I win, which I hope, remember, we're going to make it too big to rig. But we did. We won by millions and millions.
Meanwhile, Rockland County is coming out saying that you rigged the fucking election,
9:02
Donnie.
in the evening.
Thank you for the dollar donation,
He said,
Retro.
ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump is projected to be the winner. I said, well, you think that was easy? I don't think these ladies from North Carolina think it was easy. They followed me.
And one
I
more
don't know
point.
what happened to their husbands. They're married to very nice people. But they've been to, 138 rallies. They
He's got
said
multiple
more.
counts? What the fuck?
And they're from North Carolina. It's nice that we have one nearby finally, right?
Just calm
They
down,
go
no
all
spamming,
over the
Fantasia.
country. I don't know what the hell's going on, but they're great. They're North Carolina, beautiful, wonderful woman, and we appreciate it. Like 130 rallies or some crazy number. Are your husbands satisfied with that? Are they okay? Oh, here he is. He showed up. One of them showed up.
Why is he spamming? Because
That's
they don't
great.
like when people report in the news.
Congratulations. Great women, actually. The great patriots. We will use every asset at our disposal to quell the violence and restore law and order right away. We're not going to wait 7 days and 8 days and wait for a governor that's never going to call and watch cities
For the
burn.
dollar donation, Ronan, dude.
And let me tell you, if we didn't do this, Los Angeles would burn. It would be burning to the ground right now, just like the houses burned to the ground just a few months ago. And the only flag that will wave triumphant over the streets of Los Angeles is the American flag. So help me God. The American flag is the one that's going to wave triumphantly over the streets. And now let's get back to the true reason we're here today, celebrating 250 years of unbreakable Army courage. This week we commemorate not just the starting point in Army history, but a turning point in the history of the world. That's how important it is. When the Continental Congress created the Army and appointed its first commander, named happened to be George Washington. Has anybody heard of him? George Washington. Are you okay, darling? Are you all right? Yeah, take your time, please. Doctor, please. Doctor.
Somebody's probably overheated in the
house.
crowd.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's probably hot as fuck at Fort Bragg.
These are great people. They've been waiting here a long time, General, so, you know, we want to give them all the time they need, right? Thank you very much.
I'll say this. This is actually a good moment. Like, I'm very surprised that he stopped his speech because somebody was overheated and needed a doctor. I can't shit on that. Get that fucking woman some water.
Greatest
or
people in
something.
the world. They are amazing. Amazing. Oh, good. Thank you
Yeah,
very
broken
much.
clocks are right twice a day. I know.
Thank you. Okay, honey. Thank you. Beautiful young person. Beautiful young person. We have a lot of young people. You know, they have. We won young people, old people, and everything in between. It's sort of nice. Remember, they used to say, "But Trump doesn't have the young people." We won everything. Thank you very much, Doctor. Great job. When the Continental Congress created the Army and appointed its first commander, General George Washington, they sent the fierce spirit of a free nation into battle under a rallying cry that goes to this day, "Give me liberty or give me death." Have you heard of it?
You don't know
Quite
shit
a
about
beautiful
that,
statement.
Dolan.
Think of what that means. Give me liberty or give me death. I know exactly what that means. Just 3 days after the birth of the Army, the great patriot, founding father, Dr. Joseph Warren, was on the front lines as a soldiers stood totally outnumbered and outgunned at Bunker Hill. They had a group of soldiers against them that was supposed to be, in that day, unbeatable. Warren's mother had begged him, "Son, please don't do it." She said, "Please, please don't do it. Don't risk your life for even the patriot cause, please." And he replied, "Wherever danger is, dear mother, there your son will be. I will either set my country free or shed my last drop of blood to make us so." So beautiful. So the words.
Bro, he
are so
reads like a
beautiful.
fucking second grader.
At Bunker Hill, Warren kept his vow, fighting and fighting and fighting and loving his country until he fell, drenched in blood, and gave his life at the very young age of 34.
Very young age,
Exactly
34.
250 years later, we are joined by Dr. Warren's great-great-great-great-great-grandson. And it's 7 generations down. And now an Iraq war veteran, retired Army specialist, Scott Warren, is here with his daughter, Sergeant E5 Carrington Sanders of Fort Irwin. I want to just, where are you? Where would you be in this big crowd? Thank you very much. What an honor. What an honor. You look great, too, by the way. You really look great. Thank you very much. What a great family. But you carry in your veins the love and devotion of a martyr for American liberty. Please stand. Just put that hand up once more for the people, because they want. Thank you very much. You're looking good. Looking good. Good genes. Good genetics. Thank you both. Thank you very much. The life of a soldier is not just a job, it's a calling and a sacred tradition passed down from father to son, brother to sister, and one generation to the next. At every hour of danger, our noblest citizens have answered that call, kissed their loved ones goodbye, and run to the sound of guns. You run to the sound of guns, you're running right into them, you're going to win. When the British tried to reconquer our young nation in 1812, 1,000 Americans at Fort McHenry fought off a British invasion fleet.
McHenry? You mean
5,000
McKinley?
strong. They say it was unstoppable.
You mean McKinley?
Lieutenant Francis Scott Key, you all heard the name, watched from Baltimore Harbor as the Army kept Old Glory flying high. Many people died. Deeply inspired, he wrote a poem in tribute to Army courage and American pride, known today as the Star-Spangled Banner, or our national anthem. Great. 8 generations later, we're joined by a descendant of Francis Scott Key, who has spent 2 decades in uniform, Major Kyle Key of Army National Guard fame. Please, Major, where are you, Major? Thank you. Thank you. Looking good, too. What's going on here? These guys they all come from a very fine strain of blood.
Dude, he's so into
Great
eugenics.
genetics is right. Thank you both very
He's
much.
so into fucking
Major
blood
Key,
and
thank
eugenics.
you for helping to keep this
So weird.
incredible land of ours free and the home of the brave, and that's what it was. Through the decades that followed, the Army conquered the great frontier, won the war that restored our nation and broke forever the chains of slavery. A generation later, the Army's Rough Riders stormed up San Juan Hill with Colonel Theodore Roosevelt and swept the last foreign empire from the American hemisphere forever
Talking about the
swept.
Spanish-American
In
War.
World War I, our doughboys fought bravely in the Valley of the Marne and in the Argonne. There in 1918, a devout Tennessee Christian named Alvin York, You know,
Alvin
that
York, duck squatter.
charged across
I've
an
talked
open
about
field
him.
towards the German machine guns. They
Surrendered
were
200
firing
guys alone.
at levels at that time that nobody had ever seen before. They were knocking down everything in their way, including giant trees were coming down. The enemy mowed down more than half of his platoon almost immediately. The platoon was going down like nobody's ever thought possible. But York pressed on into the jaws of death. He slayed German after German, and with 132 prisoners from behind the enemy lines.
He took 132 prisoners.
He had the option of killing them, and he didn't want to do that.
Bro, I could tell this story without a
right?
fucking teleprompter.
Okay.
Way better than Fat
He brought
Donnie.
132 back, and his actions and the actions of that great day, a crazy but great day, Sergeant York earned the Congressional Medal of Honor and became one of the most famed and decorated heroes of the First World War. Very famous, actually, because of the movie that was made. And we're joined today by Sergeant York's grandson, Army Colonel Gerald York. Gerald? Thank you. Thank you, Gerald. Thank you very much. It's great. Great honor to have you. Thank you, Gerald. At his grandfather's funeral in 1964, Gerald was told by the command sergeant major of Fort Bragg that it was about time he joined the Army. And he volunteered for combat in Vietnam and gave the Army 31 of his best years. No, I think your best years are right now. You look very good. Your best years are right now. Keep it going. But Colonel York, we salute you. We salute your family and the fame and the bravery of your family. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. And in World War II, the Army once again came to the free world's rescue. Among the millions and millions who volunteered was Henry Armstrong. He enlisted 6 months before his high school graduation and did basic training right here at Fort Bragg. By the next year, he was in Normandy. He fought his way across France as part of Patton's Third Army, crossed the Rhine into the heart of Germany, and helped liberate a Nazi concentration camp. He was a brave person. Command Sergeant Major Henry Armstrong is here with us today. He's 100 years old, a veteran of numerous World War II battles.
What a fucking
and
legend.
41 years in the Army. Thank you. Wow. These are great, amazing people. Thank you very much. Great. Thank you very much.
Nice, Valent Eagle.
He's joined by his grandson, Army Major Dennis Armstrong. Dennis, I assume that's you, right? Thank you, Dennis. And Dennis's wife, Captain Shelley Armstrong. They love the military, and they love our country. Thank you very much. Shelley, thank you very much. Appreciate it. And their son, Tanner. Where's Tanner? Let me see. Oh, he looks good, too. They all look good. Tanner might look the best, actually. Thank you very much.
No, he said nothing.
Who's an active duty staff sergeant in the 82nd Airborne right here in Fort Bragg. He could right now run for office, I think. He's very popular. In Korea, our warriors held the front line in the battle against communism and liberated millions and millions into the light of freedom. To Vietnam, we sent some of the toughest men who ever wore
Not you,
army
Donnie.
boots
You dodged the draft.
and olive drab.
Not you, Donnie.
One of them was Joe Marm of Pennsylvania. He was 23 years old when his platoon was ordered to rescue soldiers surrounded by the enemy in the Battle of Ya Drang. Lieutenant Marm charged into heavy fire, killing 4 enemy soldiers in the brush before sprinting across 40 yards of open field. His teammates could not believe he was doing it, actually, they said.
His teammates?
He then tossed a grenade that killed 8 Viet Cong gunners, plunged into the trenches and killed still more before being shot in the jaw, badly in the jaw. He successfully cleared the way for his men to save their stranded comrades and, frankly, for his men to save their own lives. He was unbelievable. For his exceptional bravery, Lieutenant Marm received the Congressional Medal of Honor and retired as an Army colonel after 30 years of service. Colonel Marm is here today with his two sons, Will and Walter, both Army Rangers. What a great family legacy. Please stand up. How's your jaw feeling? All right? The jaw? It's all right? Looks pretty good. I wish mine looked that good. It's very good. Thank you very much. Great family. Appreciate it. Real heroes. In the modern era, our soldiers have charged into the darkest caves and ventured into the most God-forsaken places to vanquish the forces of radical Islamic terror from the face of the earth. In 2007, Chief Warrant Officer Eric Phillips was stationed at a remote outpost in the Afghan mountains.
Bro, he's
when a
just
massive
listing
Taliban
off
force attacked.
fucking American heroes. Like, this whole speech is just fluff. He's just listing off stories of men braver than he.
In the same deployment, Eric again repelled an attack by a vastly larger enemy force, saving countless lives. For his spectacular gallantry, Chief Phillips earned the Distinguished Service Cross and the Silver Star, becoming among the most highly decorated warriors of any branch in the war on terror. Actually, he is the most decorated, and it's not even that close. Many, many battles, many, many medals. And he's with us today, Chief Phillips. You did us all proud. Please stand up, Chief Phillips. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. You are Army strong. Thank you very much, Chief. From the American Revolution until today, the story of the Army is the tale of an unbroken chain of American patriots who gave all they had for this country. It is the saga of epic men like Washington and Jackson, Grant and Custer, Pershing and Eisenhower, Patton and MacArthur.
Why are there
Wild
ads
Bill
in a live
Donovan,
stream? Because you live it.
and the
Because
great
this is
General
America.
William
Everything's
Yarborough,
monetized.
Father of the
Capitalism.
Green Berets. You know that, the Green Berets? You know that? William Yarborough. It's the story of fabled units like the Old Guard, the Iron Brigade, the Big Red One, the Buffalo Soldiers, the Harlem Hellfighters, the Tuskegee Airmen, the Screaming Eagles, and George Patton's Hell on Wheels. They called it Hell on Wheels. When he was after you, it was not good. The weapons of war have changed with every generation, but the unflinching loyalty of the American soldier has always remained the same. The Army has always stayed true to its motto, "This we'll defend." You know that. This we'll defend. Army warriors who have laid down their lives for America rest by the thousands in the sacred soil of Arlington and Gettysburg, Anzio and
Hey guys, don't
Manila,
forget,
and to far
this is
off
Real Independent
places
Media. I have no
known
funding. If you
only
want to
to
help support
God.
the channel, you can become a patron. You can become
We
a
owe
member.
everything
Buy merch.
to them.
You can use the 40%
Today
discount
we
code for
renew
Ground
our
News. You
devotion
can donate
to
money straight to the
cause of
account.
Liberty for which they so
Don't forget to like, comment, and
selflessly lived
subscribe.
fought
And hit the
and
notification
so
bell.
bravely died. There could be no greater tribute to their memory than to prepare the Army to dominate America's enemies for the next 250 years and more than that. That's why under the Trump administration, we're focused on restoring the spirit of the U.S. Armed Forces. No soldier ever volunteered for the Army to be lectured about transgender diversity or inclusion. You don't want to hear that. Transgender for everybody. We don't
Who
do
the
that.
fuck says
America's
transgender for
patriots joined
everybody?
the Army to kick down doors, storm beaches, kill terrorists, and win America's wars. That's what we want. And that's what you want. And to that end, we're making that record investment, but not only in the Army, and the other forces also, because you work together as a team. And we're including in that and across the board. Now, you don't have to take this if you don't want. You could be great patriots. Say, I don't want to raise. I will not accept it. Let it go back into our country. Let's give it to Gavin Newsom so he can waste it in Los Angeles. No, we don't want to do that, but we're giving you across the board raise for every single service member in the U.S. Armed Forces. We're giving you across the board, and you deserve it.
I'm willing to bet money they don't end up getting that fucking raise.
You know, we spend so much money on things that we shouldn't be spending it on. But I think those days are stopping, Mr. Senators and Congressmen that are with us. As part of our one big, beautiful bill, we are also investing over $1 billion to update your on-base housing. And we're building a state-of-the-art missile defense shield to protect our homeland. And it's called the Golden Dome. It's going to be all made in America.
Willing to bet
We've
that's
done
not
it for
true
others.
either.
We're now doing it for about time, right? We're doing it for ourselves. After years of recruiting shortfalls, this is, to me, maybe the most exciting things. We're setting the strongest peacetime recruiting records ever. Just think of this. 6 months ago, we couldn't recruit anybody to join the military. Nobody wanted to join.
This is more important,
It was
Matt.
6 months ago. And then we had the election of November 5th. And now we have the strongest recruiting numbers in the history of our country. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? We've already surpassed our recruiting targets for 2025, and we're not done yet. And I'll tell you, it doesn't make you feel good when you had to hear 6, 7 months ago that nobody wants to join the Army, they don't want to join our military. Frankly, they didn't want to join our police, our firemen. They lost confidence. They lost faith in our country.
Will he attack Iran? Absolutely.
A short number of months later, we're setting
America and
all-time
Israel are going to go to
records.
war with Iran together.
In fact, your job might be in jeopardy. Somebody else may come in and take it. We'll get you out of here. You have to be good. We're getting the best people that you've ever seen. We're getting people that I don't think we've ever seen anything like it. Great people are coming in. Doesn't it make you feel good, though? You have something and you're doing something and other people want to join you. Isn't that a great feeling?
Brother, people join the military because they're desperate.
Wasn't it a lousy feeling just a short time ago when they announced, you're a soldier?
People join the military because they're fucking desperate. That's the only reason why. Actually, there's a small handful of people who join the military because it's a family tradition. But that's it.
Right? Isn't that lousy? Even the ladies from North Carolina were not happy with that. But then we had a great election. It was amazing. Too big to rig. We had a great election.
Too big to
rig. All
rig.
of a sudden, the people are pouring in, and we have incredible people like Pete and the others that are here, Dan. I think they made a big difference. I really do. So thank you very much. All of you guys, I think you've really made a big difference. The Army will soon be stronger, bigger,
W.
and
Nelson,
better than ever
you're going
before.
crazy. I love you.
And every new soldier that joins our ranks will kindle the same fighting spirit exemplified by the likes of Sergeant Major Jim Schmidt, who's no longer with us. At 15 years old, after lying about his age, because he wanted to get in so badly, Jim trained at Fort Bragg to fight in World War II. When Jim's
job, Jack. Love
middle
you.
school wrote to ask if he would attend his 8th grade graduation, he wrote back, "That will be impossible, as I'm rather busy now. I'm in the hinterlands hunting down Germans," and I have to say this, and Italians. I know there are a couple of Germans and Italians here. As a paratrooper, he made the famous drops at Sicily and Salerno while still a young boy, too young to be in. The Army kicked him out. They found out about it. They kicked him out. They discovered he was way underage. They said, "Jim, you got to get out of here. You're a hell of a soldier, but you got to get out." But that didn't stop Jim. He enlisted in the Navy. But the moment he turned 18, he came right back and he joined the 82nd Airborne. How about that? He went on to fight at the Chosun Reservoir in Korea, rough place. Saw combat in Vietnam and ended his career right back at Fort Bragg, having earned 2 Silver Stars, 3 Bronze Stars, and 2 Purple Hearts. With us today is Jim's widow, Peggy, and their beloved grandson, Army Specialist Christian Forbes, who is currently deployed at our southern border defending our country from an invasion, whether we like it or not. It's an invasion, but I don't know if you've heard, the invasion was 99.9% stopped. Did you hear that? 99? Could even be more right. 99.999% stopped. That invasion is stopped, so I think he's in good shape. Specialist Forbes, I want to thank you for defending America And you've obviously done a good job because that invasion has been stopped, and we appreciate you being here. Thank you, wherever you may be. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Great.
That
We stopped that sucker, didn't we,
99.999%.
huh?
He's claiming that
We
only
stopped it.
3 people have crossed the border illegally since he was elected. That's what he's claiming.
Souls, the love, strength, and courage of millions upon millions of Army patriots who came before you. Your uniforms bear the same stars and stripes that our ancestors carried to victory at Yorktown, across the Great Plains, and over our Rockies, up the Missionary Ridge, down through the streets of Paris. That's right, we went down the streets of Paris. We got to help our allies, don't we? Across the sands of North Africa and onto the shores of Omaha Beach, into the blood-soaked hills of Korea. And it was a West Point graduate named Buzz Aldrin who first planted our great American flag on the face of the moon.
We're watching the whole fucking thing.
Now it's your turn to carry that flag
I put myself
forward
through
and
this
to
torture
add
for
your
you,
own
so I can
daring
hold your
deeds
hand.
into this chronicle of triumph and legends. Now it's your duty to shield the flame of freedom that was first lit 250 years ago by the heroes of Concord Bridge and Bunker Hill. Standing before you today, I am more confident than ever that
I'm gonna grab you
in
by
the
the
days
pubes.
ahead and every generation to come, the U.S. Army will heap glory upon glory upon glory upon us all. You will protect every inch of U.S. soil, and you will defend America to the ends of the earth. Wherever danger is, there the U.S. Army will be. Another beautiful phrase. Whatever peril comes our way, whatever menace threatens our people, you will stand strong, you will be proud.
That band Micah?
You
Only if
will
he says some
charge
fucked up
hard,
shit.
and you will keep that flame lit, that beautiful, beautiful flame. You're going to keep it lit. You will hold the flag high, and you will do something.
Ashley, stop
that's
calling him a
become
fucking
quite
rat
a
just because of the Israeli
famous
flag.
little
That's
phrase
directly
also.
anti-Semitic lingo.
But you're a hell of a lot braver than me. You will fight, 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 and you will win, win, win. Thank you. God bless you. God bless our soldiers, and God bless the U.S. Army. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
You could ban Micah. Nope, not getting fucking copyright strike. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Thank you for the $5 donation, Ove. Appreciate the dedication and sacrifice, Chris. Make sure your ass stays good and healthy. Yeah, I plan on it. I plan on it. I bet he does the dance. Is he going to do it? Does he do it? Nope. Come on. Come on, Donnie. Oh, they're doing it in the back. There it is. There it is. You know where he learned that? You know where Donnie learned that? I believe it was Roy Cohn in his left hand and Ronald Reagan in his right hand. I think that's where Donnie learned to do that. All right, so that was a extremely inflammatory speech. That was an extremely inflammatory speech. We're losing a couple of frames. Hold on. Yeah, I'll give you the rundown. I'll keep this muted. Let me get this X'd out once it loads in. There we go. All right. Rundown of that speech. For some reason, Doland kept on bringing up the protests in LA and the Marines being sent down there and the National Guard being sent down there and greasing them up for this insurrection and telling them that you're always going to have his back, like he's always going to have their back. Trump is very, very clearly greasing up the military for his invocation of the Insurrection Act of 1807. It is wildly and abundantly clear that he plans on invoking that act, and he's trying to make sure that the military is on his side. I believe that he is going to wait 4 days until June 14th, and he is going to wait, and I think he's trying to provoke some sort of reaction at the giant birthday party for him, the military parade, because I believe that will give him the ability that he's looking for. That will give him the demand or the support of the average American. Or when I say average American, I mean like the MAGA chuds that support him. How do you think that would go? Do you think the military would stand against him? I think a handful of generals will refuse to participate, and they'll just be fired and replaced immediately. Here, if there's an insurrection, I would certainly invoke it. If we didn't get involved right now, Los Angeles would be burning like it was burning a number of months ago. We are not playing around. Yeah, so he's getting ready to do it. Wow, I'm always fucking right. I am always fucking right, and I hate it. I fucking hate it. It's misery. Jesus Christ. Let's see what Bernie has to say. I bet you he's not on our side. Bernie is not the type of guy to support these sorts of protests.
I want to take a moment to address what's going on in Los Angeles right now. Let's be clear. Trump's deployment of the National Guard and Marines in California is not about the protests. It is not about ICE, and it's really not about immigration. It's about using extremely dubious legal authority to expand his never-ending grasp for
Holy
more
shit,
power
he is on our side.
and his effort to move this country toward authoritarianism. This is a president, as you all know, who has usurped the constitutional responsibilities of Congress. He has threatened to impeach judges who rule against his policies. He has and is suing media for coverage that criticizes him.
Yo, real quick, gang, if I ever get sued by Trump for this sort of coverage, flee the nation or get ready for the Civil War. Because, like, I mean, and I know that's crazy of me to even think of, because who am I? I'm just a small fry. I got 68,000 subs on YouTube. Thank you for the recent subs. But, like, dead ass, bro, if I ever got, that would be insane. That would be insane.
Money from law firms that have represented his opponents, and he is withholding funds from universities for teaching courses.
I believe the Democratic Party is declining partly because some factors within it appear to support the terrorist group Hamas. You think that there are American representatives that support Hamas when we are funding Israel? Are you out of your fucking mind, dog? Are you out of your mind? The Democratic Party is a declining party because they refuse to adopt progressive values. They refuse to adopt actual leftist policy. Like, for example, Kamala Harris tacked to the right. She said that we should build a fucking wall. What are you talking about? If you can name one single American politician that supports Hamas, I'll be flabbergasted. Flabbergasted. You think syndicalism is good? I don't even know what that is.
Doesn't like. In terms of what's happening in Los Angeles, let us understand that in our federalist form of government, local, state, federal. It is the governor of a state who deploys the National Guard, not the President of the United States. Trump's argument for his deployment of the troops is absurd and laughable. Does anyone really believe that we are in the midst of a foreign...
We do have politicians who are not bought by Israel. We do. Hold on, I gotta lower the blinds. I have spoken with them. I have gotten meals with them. I have hung out with them. There are plenty of politicians who do not support Israel. The difference is that they don't get funding. They get attacked on both sides by both parties. If you don't support Israel, you're an enemy to the Republicans and the Democrats.
Invasion or a rebellion against the United States?
Yeah, dude, literally what he said. If anybody actually believes that this is a rebellion against the United States or an invasion from the southern border, you are an intellectually inferior person and you are deeply dishonest. You are incredibly unserious.
That, believe it or not, is his legal argument. Let's take stock of what Trump has done here. He has conducted massive illegal raids.
Hold you can resend that link again if you want.
A counter response, and then he has called in the troops. That is how an authoritarian rules. In this unprecedented moment in modern American history, it is imperative that all of us, no matter what our political views may be, stand together against the president who has little respect for the rule of law or our Constitution. The future of American democracy is at stake. Thank you very much.
Who? Zohran Mamdani, Adam Kinzinger, AOC. There are plenty of politicians who do not support Israel. They simply get attacked on all sides. If you want to know if a politician, American politician, doesn't support Israel, just look at who's attacking them. If their own party and the other party is attacking them, most likely they don't support Israel, and that is the reason. Thank you for becoming a member, Pepper. I appreciate that. Constitussy. Beans is the cat, Luigi is the dog. And yes, they are in the room. But, I'll show them in a little bit. Lag? Shit. It's probably because of the donation there. Happens. Happens. Is Bernie bought out? No, Bernie's not bought out. He is actually an ideological Zionist. Bernie doesn't support Zionism because AIPAC pays him to. Bernie supports Zionism because he genuinely is a Zionist. There's a huge difference. Excuse me, Beans, you're blocking the screen.
It was a story that I saw, I was alerted, I stopped and read it. It's an incredible body of reporting. Take me through it.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, we really looked at what has changed.
Would you support AOC? Absolutely. For a presidential run? Absolutely.
ICE enforcement leading up to this and the marching orders that they're getting from the White House. Stephen Miller, as you mentioned earlier, had this meeting in late May where he told agents from around the country that not enough people were being deported and that their focus should not be on criminals and on the target list that they've traditionally used, but on just going out and finding anyone who's in the country illegally and deporting them. And he said, why don't you try Home Depot and why don't you try 7-Eleven? And lo and behold, here, just weeks later, we saw
so Stephen,
the targeting of
this is what I've said a million times, is that Stephen Miller has far more power than you think. Herr Goebbels, he is the one who is driving this force, because Donnie has dementia. We know this. Donnie has dementia. Donnie can't read. Donnie isn't even really that racist. The only color he sees is green. He's infested by greed, right? Of course, he's racist, but he's nowhere near the levels of racist that fucking Herr Goebbels is, you know? So yeah, I've said this before. I firmly believe that Stephen Miller is genuinely the one in the driver's seat of this presidency, which is way scarier than Dementia Donnie being in the driver's seat. Way scarier.
Home Depots in LA.
Elizabeth, what is the, is there anyone in the room, I guess, that would point out the lack of precedent or the lack of appropriateness for Stephen Miller to be directing law enforcement activity from the West Wing?
There's no one left. Trump surrounded himself with yes men and sycophants. Who the fuck do you think is going to challenge Stephen Miller? Pete Hegseth? RFK? Honestly, Stephen, I think that you have gone a little bit too far. By the way, I just finished firing every single vaccine expert at the CDC, and I made a blood pact with Poseidon, god of the seas, and he told me he will wash up a whale once a month, and I'll be able to chop off its head and feed my family. Like, what are we fucking talking about?
I can't really speak to the appropriateness of it, but we lay out in the story a number of things that have changed operationally at ICE for different reasons. Some directives from above and some things that have just changed sort of on a grassroots level on the ground. And that includes agents no longer needing to stick to their targets, being able to arrest anyone they encounter, being able to arrest people in sensitive locations like courtrooms, schools, hospitals. We're seeing them frequently do masked arrests now, and really using these splashy shows of force.
What's going on? Stephen Miller is the real president of the United States right now, not Donald Trump. Donald Trump has dementia.
Elizabeth, let me read from that part of the reporting. You write, federal agents make warrantless arrests. Masked agents take people into custody without identifying themselves. Plainclothes agents in at least a dozen cities have arrested migrants who showed up to their court hearings.
Where's the fucking Second Amendment crowd, huh? How is this not tyranny? Federal agents make warrantless arrests. Masked agents take people into custody without identifying themselves. Plainclothes agent in at least a dozen cities have arrested migrants who showed up to their court hearings. Like, listen, I'm going to say this, and I don't want to be such a hateful person, but like, MAGA, you are the enemy of the American people. You are no longer Americans. You can stop calling yourself that. You're not patriots. You're not even American. You don't give a fuck about the Constitution. All you care about is Dementia Donnie's orders. You're God King. Because like the servile doggy you are, you just lap up everything he spills out for you. Everything's okay as long as Donnie says it's okay. You'd let fucking Donald Trump fuck your wife, wouldn't you, you bootlicking cucks?
Across the U.S., people suspected of being in the country illegally are disappearing into the federal detention system without notice to families or lawyers, according to attorneys, witnesses, and officials.
That is Nazi shit. Nazi shit.
In Coral Springs, Florida, at least 8 agents in tactical gear, shields and rifles, surrounded a home with guns raised to arrest a father with no criminal history. In Irvine, California, ICE agents drove a phalanx of military vehicles in the Orange County suburbs to arrest a person, though not for illegal immigration. They were seeking a resident's son who had...
Sophie, they banned my main account. I have an alt, Valenti Videos alt.
Allegedly posted flyers alerting neighbors to the presence of ICE agents. How widespread and how lacking in facts and evidence before all these kinds of aggressive tactics take place is the current operation?
To answer your question, not Real King Lear. To answer your question, Hayden, hell gets a new demon. That's what happens. But people disappearing without trials, yeah, no, this is Nazi shit.
You know, we're seeing these examples pop up all over the country. We're seeing them pop up in a lot of different contexts. And in many cases, the Trump administration and ICE officials
But you don't understand.
Are not hiding what they're doing. They're proud of it. They're posting on social media videos of them smashing car windows and surrounding people with guns and the like. And there's a reason for that. It's a strategy to convince people to leave the country, to convince people not.
Guys, fascism is all about the climate. You need to create a climate of fear in order for fascism to successfully rise, which is what they want. These are actual fascists. I don't say that semantically. These are actual fascists, right? And the climate of fear is very important. You need people to be afraid to stand up to this, and that is what they're trying to build up. This fear of deportation, this fear of incarceration, that is what they want.
To come here in the first place, and they are leaning on these splashy shows of force. So I don't think we've seen the end of them.
Apparently, Adam Kinzinger posted something. I don't know if it was on Instagram or not. Let's see. Oh, that's just some stupid fucking video.
But it's very serious. Stop calling the soldiers that have been deployed to LA National Guard soldiers. They are not National Guard. They were National Guard, but they were put under Title X, federalized by Donald Trump.
Hold on. I have to change the gain now that we are done with that speech. That speech, their microphone wasn't working properly, so let me fix this. There we go.
So they are now U.S. Army soldiers. They are no different than the 101st Airborne. This is important because when people are talking about National Guard soldiers in L.A., then everybody assumes, well, then they have the ability to do law.
Oh, and the stream title. Thank you. Trump is destroying our nation.
Law enforcement, they do not, unless the Insurrection Act is invoked or unless the governor consents to their activation. Until then, they're under Title X. They are federal troops with the same restrictions as every federal troop.
All right. All right, guys, take that seriously. From now on, stop referring to them as the National Guard. Those are now federal troops, okay? From now on, they are referred to as federal troops, okay? You could just call them soldiers, okay? They are simply soldiers.
You may as well replace this activated National Guard with, like, again, the 82nd Airborne. They are federal troops. They are not National Guard, despite what their shield says. This is important because they're trying to confuse you. Hey guys, listen, this may seem technical,
I fucking
but
love
it's
this
very
guy.
serious.
By the way,
stop calling the soldiers that.
By the way, I'm not a Republican. Adam is, and I fucking love this guy, okay? If you're a Republican in the chat, because this is the OAL, we're an amalgamation of libertarians, socialists, communists, anarchists, Democrats, Republicans, liberals, I don't give a fuck. If you're a Republican, this is the man you should turn to. Not Donald Trump, the draft dodger, okay? How about fucking the goddamn military pilot who served in Afghanistan? How about the guy who actually understands the fucking importance of our allies, right? Not fucking Dementia Donnie. Anyway. Leave him alone, Luigi. Oh, here comes Cuck Schumer.
We have a lot going on, so our caucus lasted a
Look
while.
at this fucking loser. Cuck Schumer is probably going to say something like, we've decided that we're going to have a meeting in 5 days to discuss how we should react over the next 3 weeks. Fucking get some emergency in you.
And I want to thank Senator Schatz and
I fucking hate this guy.
Smith for joining us.
Oh my
well,
God.
This week, as Republicans continue to jam through the big ugly betrayal,
Cuck Schumer, it's Cuck Schumer.
We're continuing to sound the alarm on the devastating impacts of this bill. It doesn't just gut Medicaid.
Dude, the fucking Democratic Party is a gerontocracy.
Dismantles the ACA, and we've just found it even forces cuts in Medicare. Medicare, so important to so many people, almost sacred.
Is this today? Does this dumb fuck not know that we know this, bro? We've known this for 3 weeks. Adam's last name is Kinzinger. Kinzinger.
And it cuts that too. In New York, couples covered through the ACA would pay almost $3,000 more a year. People hate it when their health insurance goes up, and it's going up a lot because of the big ugly betrayal.
The big ugly betrayal. That doesn't hit the way you think it does, you stupid fuck. Call it the big ugly bill, okay? No one knows what the fuck you're talking about except for people like me who are chronically online and do this shit for a living. Oh my God.
Private insurance will also go up. You'd say, well, I don't have Medicare, I don't have Medicaid, I'm safe. Private insurance is going up as well. All of this to pay for tax cuts to billionaires. It's no secret that this awful bill would rip away health care from 16 million Americans, steal food from children, balloon the debt, but it would also kill millions of jobs and skyrocket costs. And this week, that's what we are focusing on. It's not just health care costs that would go through the roof. Energy costs will be soaring. American households...
I'm not even gonna fucking watch this, simply to prove that these are ineffective fucking leaders. I would rather watch a fucking 2-hour speech of Donald Trump at Fort Bragg than listen to 3 fucking minutes of Chuck Schumer talking, even though he's on my side. Well, actually, he's on his side. He doesn't give a fuck about anything else other than his own investments. But, like, Jesus Christ, get that fucking man out of office. Get him out. Holy shit. Oh.
There's one that's broken, so let's leave that one to the edge.
Those Marines? Is that the Marines or is that the Army? Anybody in here, military? Does that look like a Marine or Army? That's Army? That's Army.
You don't support the Zionist war machine. I don't support the fact that you were in Syria helping steal Syrian oil. I don't support that, no. Oh, anti-vet. I'm anti-war. I'm anti-war. Oh, wow. I'm anti-war, yes. I'm anti-war.
What is going on in the background?
I am anti-war, yes.
Turn the camera. Where's... Turn the camera. Let me see who's arguing.
You want me to come and kiss their ass for fighting for Israel. Then yes, I don't need to thank you. Someone's ass.
Looks like the roadblockers are doing more than the soldiers because, guys, because of the Posse Comitatus Act. This is why I keep saying Trump is going to invoke the Insurrection Act. These guys legally cannot put up those barricades. That putting up this barricade is a form of enforcing domestic policy. Putting up this barricade is a form of law enforcement, and the military cannot participate in law enforcement unless Dementia Donnie invokes the Insurrection Act. That's it. So if you want these guys to touch that, then Trump has to invoke the Insurrection Act. Adam outlined it. We just watched it.
No, I don't think you are. Your people are against it.
Peace out, Obi-Wan. Dude, why does he have his phone? That cannot be according to the rules of engagement, to bring your fucking phone with you? Yo, anyone military in here? There's no fucking shot he's supposed to be allowed to have his cell phone. No fucking shot. What's up, guys? Live in the LA protests here. It's your boy Ice Poseidon. No, it's and we're here. We got a couple of protesters back there. I'm gonna fucking shoot one. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Like. Bored at work. Don't hit me up. They don't take your phones? That seems fucking stupid, bro. Yeah, you can't bring your personal electronics on an operation. Yeah, I feel like that just is common fucking sense, right? Right? Now that's a lot of soldiers.
Voice for the ones that can't speak! We are here for the voice of the ones that can't speak! Descendants of Operation Wetback!
Oh shit.
Get back! 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 What the fuck? What the fuck? Get back! Get back!
Your grandma, she's an immigrant, she's getting deported too. That's what you're defending? Piece of shit? That's what you're defending? Come on, bro, look at me. Come on, bro. That's what you're proud of? Oh, proud and proud.
Look at all these short kings. Look at all these 5'6" short kings. I didn't say there was anything wrong with being short. You did. Oh, those are Waymos, Mania. Those are driverless, like, self-driving vehicles that are quite popular in Los Angeles. It's fucking very dystopian. And honestly, I support that shit. I support fucking, like, dude, I don't want to live in a world with fucking self-driving cars that are running people over. I really don't. Trump speeches and Hitler speeches are not that similar. I mean, they use similar verbiage, but Hitler knew how to fucking speak, and Trump barely knows how to read. Jesus Christ. He didn't do anything. He didn't... Look at the one on the left. Look at this one. What the fuck? As soon as he turned his back. Fucking pigs. Fucking oinking little pigs. Listen to them oink. Listen to them all oink. That's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. Let's see. Oh, Jesus Christ, more people are dying in after the Austria school shooting. Did the shooter at least get killed? Let me see. Ah, thank God. All right. Well, at least he's no longer breathing. Trigger warning. School shooting. Luigi. Well, at least the shooter is no longer breathing. One good sign. One good thing. Governor Newsom asks court to block the Trump administration from using troops in immigration raids. He asked the federal court to block the Trump admin from using the National Guard and the Marines to assist ICE. So Trump is probably on Marine One still, and he likes to post when he's on the helicopter and the plane. excuse me, that's when he posts the most, is when he's flying. See? I know what I'm fucking talking about. 7 minutes ago, 8 minutes ago, 48 minutes. I'm telling you, dude, I know Donnie. If there's one fucking man I know, it's Donnie. Brad Little is the strong and highly popular governor of Idaho, a state I love and won big in 2016, 2020, and 2024. As governor, Brad is fighting tirelessly to champion Idaho values, promote our great farmers and ranchers, grow the economy, cut taxes and regulations, help secure our now very secure record-setting border, support our brave military, veterans, and law enforcement, and protect our always under siege Second Amendment. Brad Little has my complete and total endorsement for re-election. He will not let you down. Okay. And then he posted this. What the fuck is this?
And President Trump. Gavin Newsom, after President Trump said in the noon hour in the Oval Office that he called him yesterday or the other day, Gavin Newsom tweeted the following. He said, quote, "There was no call, not even a voicemail. Americans should be alarmed that a president deploying Marines on our streets doesn't even know who he's talking to." Well, President Trump contacted me from Air Force One on his way to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where he'll be in just a little while.
Oh my God, dude. They're literally doing cover for him because he didn't speak to Gavin, and now Trump feels embarrassed. First call was not picked up. Second call, Gavin picked up. We spoke for 16 minutes. I told him to essentially get his ass in gear and stop the riots, which were out of control.
He said the first call to Gavin Newsom was not picked up. The second call Gavin picked up. We spoke for 16 minutes. I told him to essentially, quote, and this is quoting the president, get his ass in gear and stop the riots, which were out of control more than anything else. This shows what a liar he is. Said I never called. So here is the evidence. And here is the call log.
That's not yesterday. That's not, today is the 10th. Yesterday was the 9th. This says the 7th. What the fuck are you doing? What?
Going on between Gavin Newsom.
What the fuck are we talking about? Dude, Fox News isn't even, like, brother, it's right here.
Sent me from his phone. This was June the 7th. Now, granted, this was on Saturday. But look, there's 1:22 o'clock in the morning, which would have been 10 o'clock at night, 10:22 at night, California time. There was an outgoing call for 4 seconds. And then there was an outgoing call for 16 minutes. So that from the president, which says is proof that he spoke to Gavin Newsom early in the morning, our time, late at night, Friday night, would have been June 6th, I guess.
I mean, Thursday is practically Friday, and Friday's practically Saturday. Saturday's the end of the weekend, so why not call it Sunday? So technically, I'm right. Like, what?
In Los Angeles.
Dude, the president of the United States took a screenshot on his phone and sent it to this guy, to who?
In Gavin Newsom. And
the president of the United States took a screenshot on his phone and sent it to this ugly mug, and now they're covering it, bro. It's like a personal news channel for him. He can just go, I want you to put this on the news now. And they do. And they do.
California time. There was an outgoing call for 4 seconds. And then there was an outgoing call for 16 minutes. So that from the president, which says is proof that he spoke to Gavin Newsom early in the morning, our time, late at night, Friday night, would have been June 6th, I guess, in Los Angeles. So, Governor, over to you for the response.
I was say that's next, right? We're waiting to see what if Governor Newsom has a response to the president's. Essentially, what he has there is the receipt for what he says is the call that was.
No, he doesn't. That's not. I'm gonna fucking lose. Yo, dude. Oh my God. Fox News is It's cancerous. It's cancerous. It is cancerous. Bro changed the contact name of his favorite escort. Bro, oh my God. Refresh. Let's see. Watch this. What do we want to bet? What's the over-under that if I click refresh right now, there's a new post? If I click refresh right now, do you guys think there's going to be a new post? Because I'm going to be honest, I don't. This was 12 minutes ago. I do not think there will be a new post, but there's only one way to find out. All right, thank the fucking Lord. Thank the fucking Lord. We should see Gavin's Twitter. If only he had shown the right ones. Trump doesn't even know what day it is. Period, King. Period, King. Let's see what Pete Hegseth has to say. I'm assuming nothing. Yeah, fuck all. Okay, but who's really important is Stephen Miller. The state of California will protect the lives and safety of every ICE officer as they conduct immigration enforcement operations in Los Angeles. America was invaded by illegal aliens. America voted to end the invasion. Democrat rioters are now waging violent insurrection to overturn the election results and continue the invasion. Yeah, they're invoking the Insurrection Act. They are 100% invoking the Insurrection Act. 100% they're invoking the Insurrection Act. This is Goebbels saying this. If you had any doubt left in your mind, toss it out the fucking window. Toss it out the fucking window. I like how he puts it in black and white so he really resembles Goebbels. Your lies continue to stoke the violent insurrection. Sometimes these are refined to a point perfect clarity. The future Democrat Party offers America ever since a third world nation. Oh my God. The illegal alien invasion. Insurrection mob. This is the definition of insurrection. Yeah. They're invoking the Insurrection Act. That's fucked. We're fucked. We're cooked. We're so fucking cooked. What's your take on Rockland County? Elon Musk rigged the election for Donald Trump to win, specifically in smaller areas, small blue dots. Rockland County is just the one that we have evidence of, and more is going to come out. Chris, what are you doing to prepare for this? Brother, I prepared for this on January 6, 2021. I've been prepared. You want to see my fucking go bag, bro? You think I'm fucking kidding, bro? I've been prepared. You ready? Hold on. I've been prepared, homie. This big ass bag, it's like 40 fucking pounds, bro. I ain't showing you the inside of my kit. Where you going? Oh, no, you got me wrong. I ain't running. No, you got me wrong, bro. I ain't running. That's bright red? Yeah. Somebody's got to distract him so you fuckers can run. Yeah, I've been prepared for 4 fucking years. Excuse me.
Oh, ICE, the deportations are behind Biden administration. Well, why? Because they counted border removals. We don't have 10.5 million people crossing the border. We don't have border removals.
It's goring.
So Joe Biden could have deported 5% of his encounters, and numbers will still be higher than us on the border removals because we have a secure border, the most secure border in the history of this nation. Compare apples to apples.
No, we didn't learn shit.
Deportations are far more than Joe Biden.
That's right.
Caroline.
Sure, go ahead.
Mr. Holman, talking about the border wall, can you give us an update as far as how many miles are being built today? And is Mexico paying for it, as the president said they were going to?
Well, first of all, I'll answer that question because I already answered it in my opening remarks. To date, since January 1st, there's been more than 85 miles of new border wall construction in various stages of that construction and planning. The president has made it clear to Congress that we want to see more funding for not just border wall construction, but also to support our ICE agents and our Border Patrol agents who are on the ground facilitating with this mass deportation effort.
So he's clear that Mexico is not going to pay for it? Is that what you're saying?
Let's address that. Trump said Mexico will pay for the wall. They have in a roundabout way, have they not? Putting 10,000 military on the northern and southern border, taking the action they did remain in Mexico. They didn't have to do that. They're doing it. Putting military on the southern border. Have moved illegal immigration to a record low. We're saving millions of dollars every day on detention, transportation, removal proceedings. We've more than made up for the cost of that wall because of the actions of Mexico. So is Mexico helping build that wall? Yeah, because we're saving so much money, millions of dollars a day, that we can afford to build that wall. So actually, yes, they're helping to build the wall.
John Miller.
Thanks a lot, Caroline. Mr. Holman, a question for you. You're the border czar. Can you give an estimate as to how many individuals are in the United States illegally? That's number one, and I'm sure you're very familiar with that number, an estimate. And the second question is, I have a list that the White House put out of individuals, 100 ICE arrests since the beginning of the president's term, and the people are arrested for very
Oh, that is funny. Mert's giving him a fucking birth certificate. expect post-insurrection act? Nationwide martial law. Why the Trump administration wants this to escalate? Yes. Look, they want this to escalate because Trump wants to invoke the Insurrection Act. If he can invoke the Insurrection Act, he can declare martial law. If he can declare martial law, he can throw his political opponents in prison, which is exactly what he wants to do with every single Democrat leadership. Donald Trump does not want there to be an election in 2028. He wants to simply be handed a third term. The only way he can do that is if he completely destroys democracy. The only way he could possibly do that is by taking military control, a military coup d'etat. Yes, martial law will affect interstate travel. If you have children who are in a different state for school, get them home before you can't. Can't just leave my school, though. You're gonna wish you did. I like this guy just eating a popsicle. I'm gonna take a break, guys. I think I have to. For my fucking head. I gotta take a break. I don't think I'm gonna go live again tonight. Oh, we'll see what happens. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you want to support the channel financially, donate to the channel, become a member, become a patron, buy merch, and use the 40% off discount code for the Vantage subscription on Ground News. Okay? There are many different ways for you to support the channel. GG. GG. GG.